Welcome to Cover Ever number 2. This is a special video. I couldn't find a clip where I said I'd make a video about that. Um, I know I think I said it. I don't remember which one, but it was about the transgender wrestling and stuff. So I'm gonna talk about your body mass index factor because for women and men it's always going to be different. Women's body mass index will always change due to their life cycle style. And when I say life cycle, I mean that time of the month. Alright, so let us begin. Okay, so like I said in one of the videos about the transgender wrestler or boxer or whatever the hell it was, um, when I've sparred with people bigger than me and they can only give me 10 minutes, it's the same thing with my nephew when we were doing boxing and he was whipping my ass and I was proving to him that I could take a beating, but he could only go yay so many minutes, and just when he was getting worn out, I was just about to kick in the first gear. I hadn't even got my second win yet, and I just couldn't get through his defenses because I'm not a boxer. But I know enough boxing that I won't get my ass beat. And then, we're limited in space, worried about breaking his TV, that kind of bullshit. But the thing is, being in shape, being in shape is a thing. If you are a drinker, if you are a smoker, if you eat junk food and don't work out, if you don't train your body at all, you are more than likely going to lose any kind of fighting that you're in, for the simple fact that your body has more stuff to maneuver. Alright? I'm going to explain that. So here you have a shot at what I look like from basically the waist to crotch area. Alright? So as you can see, I'm not out of shape. I'm just not really in shape, And I've been training for a long time. When my nephew's only 22, 23 years old. He's really good at boxing. I'm really good at street fighting and kung fu. My nephews won't fight that fight because they can't win that fight. I will fight a fight even if I can't win it. Boxing, yeah, you might whoop my ass, but I'm still going to give it all I got, where they won't even consider getting in a martial art battle with me, because once I get my feet up in the air, it's a done deal. So all the people that I've wrestled with in my days of coming up in my 20s have only been able to give me anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes. It is not because they were in horrible shape, although some of them were. It was just that they have more body mass index, so they have more muscle to move and maneuver, where I, on the other hand, I don't. But also, in the same thing, I have been fighting a lot longer than they have been fighting. No, none of my fights were professional. I have been fighting in the streets, so you can't really call them professional. You can really call them, I was defending myself. And when you have been fighting, and it's all your body knows, your body will automatically, and I kid you not, your body will automatically revert back to what it does best. Now, I do remember saying in one of the videos that I was talking about martial arts and how wrestling is probably the ultimate form of martial arts. It kind of has to be, because there's nothing that's not in the wrestling. Everything starts and begins with a suplex or a body slam. Alright? So your primary weapons are suplex, body slam, DDT, running clothesline, unless you're like a lucha libre wrestler where everything under the sun, twisting, wrapping people's legs around your head and throwing them around and stuff like that. But martial artists generally, and I don't want to offend anybody, so let me apologize now, but martial artists and MMA fighters and stuff like that are kind of the superior athletes. When you are a basketball player, you may do some calisthenics. When you're a football player, you hit the weight room. When you're a wrestler, you do calisthenics and the weight room. When you are a martial artist, you do wrestling, you do the weight room, you spar, you hit the bag. There's almost nothing that you don't do as a martial artist or a wrestler. Alright? Understand that, because everything that you do either will build your arsenal or trim some of the fat off your arsenal. Now, in the guys that I would wrestle around with, and I mean we'd be wrestling and tossing and pushing each other around and stuff, most of my friends, who are all over the 6 foot mark, can't keep up with me when it comes to being stamina and endurance. Alright? And the reason of that is It's not because they're in as horrible shape as they think they are. It's just that their bodies are bigger than mine, which means they have to work harder to move with me. Where what will take me that quick will take them that slow. And speed is a factor in most athletic paralysis. For me, I've always been pretty goddamn quick. I may still be hella quick in my age number right now. But the point of the matter is, the bigger you are, you have to learn how your body mechanics work. If you don't know how your body works, you're in deep shit. Alright? Let's just keep that real. If you don't know how fast you are, or how slow you are, how long it takes you to throw a punch versus a kick, what is the distance between your kick and your target? What is the range of strength needed to incapacitate your opponents? You're in trouble. And here's the thing about that. Most of us don't know the power that we have until it's too late. If you're pretty fast, you can get out there 3 punches and then a hook. That person on the receiving end's gonna be bewildered because they're like, and if they have a good recovery, the battle will continue. If they don't have a good recovery, someone's going to sleep. So that being said, you have to understand how fighting works. Fighting works on 2 principles. I hit you, you hit me. Whichever one of us doesn't recover from the first hit goes down. Unless I'm fighting you and you're a BBJ expert and going down as part of your plan to get me down. Now here's how this works in real life. If I'm rolling with someone who knows BJJ, I can almost guarantee you I'm going to tap. Now, the question for you is, are you going to believe that, or are you going to be like, James might be lying. He might actually be a BJJ ace. Obviously, since I can't say it very well, I'm pretty much not an ace in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now, I've had regular Jiu-Jitsu and I've had Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I've also had some Judo training. So depending on what your style of Judo is, yes, there's more than one style of Judo, just like there's more than one style of Jiu-Jitsu, because clearly Jiu-Jitsu and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu are not the same thing. But they both involve grabs and locks, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu more than Jiu-Jitsu involve a lot of your ass being on your back and getting mounts and top control and all that shit. I'm not getting on my back. Right there, that's like not even an option. But then you have toe hooks and all that bullshit. I'm a stand-up fighter. Fuck that ground shit. That's not for me. I'm not going to let you get on the ground. That's just all to that. If you're going for a damn sprawl and to grab the double, take my legs down, I'm going to elbow you in your fucking back. It's just that simple. Because I'm not letting you get down. And if you get me down, if you notice that once a lot of people take side mount, or side control, or side guard, whatever the fuck you want to call it, they leave a lot of their shit open. But in your panic to try to gain control of them gaining control, you are subjected to using other options, but most people don't think about that shit in the middle of a fight, and you don't. And the thing is, you can watch these fights and yell at the screen like I do, because I'll be on the screen and they're both struggling with their arms, and all of this is open. Dude has mounted him in side control. Now, maybe the guy's not flexible. I'll give him that. If the guy's not flexible and he can't knee the guy in the gut, okay, I get that. He's not flexible. But I'll be screaming at the screen when dude's in full side control. He's not like in a Kimura lock. He's not in a triangle. He's not in the arm bar, but he's in side control and he's fighting for the arm. He's fighting to get that arm bar. So the whole time he's trying to resist the arm bar, he could be throwing knees into this guy's side because he's like right across here. So it's not like he can't boom, boom. But he's not thinking about that because either he wasn't taught that shit or he's in panic mode. I don't think I have other limbs to use. Now, when I was taught martial arts in a young age, not before I got into the army with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I was always taught, don't go down. And if you do go down, look for your open opportunity to strike them before they strike you. Which is why it's kind of hard to block your face when people are punching you and to be thinking about kneeing people in the side. Which is why I understand when I'm sitting there yelling at the screen, knee him in the gut, knee him in the gut. He can't hear me, for one. And two, he may not have been taught that. You have to understand that everyone teaches a style. And when they teach you that style, you adapt that style for what works for you. And if you haven't been taught to knee someone in the gut when they're in side control, you're not going to knee them in the gut. You're going to be too busy trying to get them from out of side control. I ain't got time for that. So if you got me in side control and I don't panic, I'm kneeing you in the gut. Because if you're over top of me, the world's dominantly right-handed, which means if you go side control, your left side's gonna be at my face. And if you're bigger than me and my leg isn't like hung up, while you're trying to catch me in a folded pretzel type position, you better believe that this knee is coming into your right side because it's right there. It's the only thing I got. If I'm struggling with your arms and I'm in an almost fetal position, I'm just going to go ahead and start using my knees because they're there. Which apparently a lot of UFC fighters and MMA fighters and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighters forget. You have other weapons to use while you're concentrating on this guy trying to break your fucking arm. Well, concentrate on the fight. Be like Stephen Bonner. Sacrifice the arm. I ain't saying cut the bitch off, but was it him or was it Forrest Griffin? One of them won a fight with a broken arm. Literally won the fight with a broken arm. Broke that arm, came right back around from the backyard and knocked the fucker, slammed the fuck out. So you have to use what you got. This thing right here is the ultimate weapon as long as you do not panic. So when you're tussling with people who are bigger than you, you have to remember two things that's very important. They have a whole lot more strength, but they may not have the ability to use it, which is why a lot of people who are bigger than you will always go for the one-hitter quitter versus I'm going to try to out-rustle this guy. No, you have to fight your own fight, I'll give you that. But at that same time, you don't know what the guy you're fighting is capable of at the same time, which is why you don't go into a fight underestimating anybody, especially someone who is smaller than you. Now, I'm not saying that us small guys are cocky, because we are, but sometimes cocky ain't just a hype, it's a fact. And sometimes you have to face facts whether you like it or not. Sometimes facts smack you in the face. Literally. So, if guys got you in side mount, and your leg is free, he doesn't have this one. He has it like trying to hook it under, or he's inside mount. He's on top of you. He's got your head in his arms, and he's got your leg. He ain't got no way of defending himself when your knee can be hitting him in the gut. A lot of people are looking at this and saying, I never thought of that. You're damn right you didn't. You know why you didn't think of that? Because you weren't trained to think like that. I was trained to think like that. Because you can take a couple of hits. You're a professional. You can take a couple of hits. So you should be able to focus while you're taking that hit to deliver a few of your own. And the thing about that is that if you don't have the right coaching on that, you're not going to remember how to do that shit in the middle of a fucking fight. Every weapon that you have is always going to be there. You just need to learn when to fucking utilize it. So your body mass index has a lot to do with your fighting. Alright? Try to remember that. The bigger a person is, that just means you don't fight their fight. Don't try to outmuscle someone who's bigger than you. It's not a good idea. In fact, it could be the worst idea you've ever had. But if you try to outbrain their ass, you have a fighting chance of winning the fight. The reason I say that is because a lot of people that I've sparred with the exception of that asshat from New York, who was about my size, just more bulkier, outside of that asshat, most people I've sparred with have always been bigger than me. And the bigger they are, the stronger they are most of the time. Now, yeah, there are some 200-pound weaklings, but you have to also remember that they're pushing an extra 100 pounds that I don't have to worry about. I have to worry about it if it's coming right at my face, but for the most part, when you're fighting someone bigger than you, you need to be aware that they are stronger than you. You also need to be aware, and this is not a stereotype, this is a fucking fact, most big guys, when they fight small guys, they gotta try and dump them. Alright? Because most big guys are not going to stand toe-to-toe with a guy they gotta punch down at. Alright? And the reason that is gravity's on my side. Gravity's nobody's friend, granted, but it's on my side. If I'm fighting somebody as big as The Rock, Rock's 6'5", I'm 5'3", so he's a whole foot and some change ahead of me. So he has to punch down to be effective at me. He has to catch me in a position where I have to be there. This is how fights work. One of us is going to get hit and go to sleep unless they know what they're doing. One of us is going to throw another punch and another punch. Fights work on connections. Your connecting lines decide if you have a glass jaw, you're going to sleep. Now, if you're tough as nails or you're tough as a box of rocks, there's going to be some contact issues that are going to be having to be addressed. The bigger a guy is just means that you're going to have to worry about how powerful his hits are going to be and how good are your blocks and your ability to absorb the blow from him throwing the punch or the kick at you. Part of your knowledge in fighting will be achieved by what you have been taught and what you practice. If you practice on a daily basis like I used to in my 20s and in my teens, your body, your reflexes will hone in and be so sharp that you will have no worries. I still have a reflex problem. I don't know how to cut it off. My reflexes are faster than I think, and I have proven that time and time again by pure accident. Now, I have to hold back in a lot of the things I do. Shh, that's my secret. I'm always holding back. I hold back for a reason. I hold back out of fear. I don't want to hurt anybody by mistake, and accidents do happen. When we're in Saber Night Lights class, I get my ass kicked all the time with these things. Now, mostly, I will say that I'm at fault. I'm really afraid that I may accidentally do the wrong thing and hurt someone trying to defend or protect myself. And it's the same thing when I spar with friends. I'm like, before we do this, I need to let you know a few things that I don't have reflex control. And shit will happen that is beyond my control. I haven't had reflex control since I was 20 years old. I learned that when I was 23 when I gave my father a root canal by complete accident. And I carry this as my cautionary tale of telling people, do not sneak up behind me. I will not be held responsible. The first person that did that was my father. He was also the last person that did that because I started warning people. Always in battle mode. And I was like this before I joined the Army, and I can't cut it off. So when people come up behind me, wham! That's bound to happen. It has happened at least once. And I do my best to make sure that I'm always searching so that I don't have this happen. When I'm at work and have my headphones on, I make sure my eyes are always open and focused around me so that if anybody at work is coming up behind me, I won't be startled and go into battle mode. The problem is that battle mode does not cut off even in my sleep. Alright? So you have to wonder about that. See, martial arts has its drawbacks. For me, my non-reflex control is like the biggest drawback that I have because I don't have reflex control. If you're sneaking up on me and I don't know you're there, it's a very good chance that you're going to get hit or kicked. It just depends on what appendage is closer to you at the time. Body mass index has a lot to do with that also. My body mass index is really, really light. Like I said, I'm about $120, if that. And the thing with that is, speed comes with your body mass index. The bigger you are, you can have speed. It might not be as fast as a smaller person. Doesn't mean you don't have it. It just means that you won't have it as fast as a smaller person. You understand where I'm going with that? I'm not saying that people do not have speed. It's just like me saying small people don't have power. Alright? But at the same time, you have to master your BMI, and I have to master mine. If my shit is speed, you better believe that I'm going to be able to find control and technique. Where yours is power, you're going to be able to find control and technique. These are the two things that set people apart when you're in a fight. If you're fighting a novice who does not have control or technique and don't know if they're fast or strong, then you're fighting someone who is completely unpredictable. And a person who is unpredictable is probably the most dangerous person in the fight because you don't know what the fuck they're going to do. And that makes it really, really bad because your reflex action could be the thing that makes or breaks you during the fight. So I'm James Williams Jr. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Thank you guys very much. Come for having number 2. Be seeing you.